All right, it kind of sucks making this video because Bryce Young still has yet to be ruled out for Carolina Panthers. Dave Canales is really playing a long game with literally maybe like an hour or two before the game announcing whether or not he's going to play. I think it's pretty obvious that he's not going to play per the Friday press conference of just by the way that he responded to the question. That way they just want to take it a day at a time. Honestly, we would have known if he was going to play on Wednesday. But he didn't practice Wednesday. He didn't practice Thursday. And I do think he's going to play against the Green Bay Packers, but I just don't think he's going to play against Sunday. So that brings me to the next question. Can the Carolina Panthers still complete the upset? As a fan, as a former player, as much knowledge as I know about football, I would say that I would be in complete shock if the Carolina Panthers complete the upset. Not because of just the backup. I mean, it was already a tough game, even with Bryce Young at quarterback. But now I feel like the Bills, because Bryce Young is no slouch, right? At Bryce Young's best, Bryce Young can make any throw. Right? Like that at Bryce Young's best, there isn't a throw that Bryce Young can't make. He's the number one pick of the draft. There isn't a throw that he can't make. Now, consistently, that's an argument, right? But when Bryce Young is at his best, I mean, what is his weakness? His size? You know what I mean? Like, we saw Bryce Young at his best last year. I think we saw Bryce Young at his best against the Cowboys. Like, when he's efficient and he is in rhythm, it's hard to get him out of rhythm, and it's hard for him to miss throws. So, can the Carolina Panthers upset the Buffalo Bills without Bryce Young? I think they can, but I think they're going to have to play their best game. And I think Andy Dalton, like I said in the other video, I just don't think the Bills, I think they're just too smart to be like, okay, we're just going to allow Rico Dowdle to run all over us. They're preparing for Andy Dalton to be the starter on Sunday. And what they're going to do exactly what the Jets did. They're going to say, we're not going to let Rico beat us. So you're going to have to beat us with your arm. And granted, they did not want to open up the offense last week. So many play actions after play action after play action, and it was just conservative after conservative play calls, and it was just the offense can never really get going because the run game never got going, and that's what Dave Canales wants. He wants the run game to get going, and when he doesn't have the run game going, what kind of game can he call? That is the big question. And now you throw Andy Dalton in there, and it's like, well, if the run game doesn't get going against the Bills, you're going to have to rely on Andy Dalton's arm. And can Andy Dalton lead this team to beat a top 3 team in the AFC right now? With the receiver core that they have? That's a 100, maybe 1,000 to 1 odd, if I'm being completely honest. Because there is without a doubt in my mind that Andy Dalton can sling the ball. He can throw the rock. But it's his decision making and his ability to read the defense and anticipate pressure and anticipate throws that lacks. And that showed a lot. That was the big reason with the multiple 3 interception games that he had last year. That was the big reason why Bryce Young came back in and took over as the starting job. It wasn't because Bryce Young did anything special. It was because Andy Dalton did not play great at all. So it was like, what can we lose? We might as well throw Bryce Young back in there, see what he can do. And now you're staring at, this is probably the biggest game of the season because they play the Packers next week and then the Seattle Seahawks. They also play the Bucks twice. But the Bills can potentially go to the championship. They can potentially go to the Super Bowl if they get their act together. I don't have the Packers being that team going to the Super Bowl this year. I don't have them better than the Niners or the Lions. And the Bucks, I just don't necessarily trust Baker Mayfield. And he is that guy, but I feel like it's gonna catch up to him. And then the Seattle Seahawks, I don't trust Sam Darnold either. And they need a little bit more pieces as well. So I mean, I'm looking at the Bills, and it's just like, the Bills may be the best team the Carolina Panthers play. And right now they have it good because the Bills are coming off of a bye week, but they're also coming off of one of their worst losses. Back-to-back loss, by the way. So in my opinion, what do the Carolina Panthers need to do to win? It's going to have to be, it can't be defensively. Because the Panthers held the Jets to 6 points last, and the offense only scored 13. So it can't be defensively. And the Bills are not going to get 6 points. I would be shocked if they get less than 6 points or 6 points. They're too explosive with James Cook and Josh Allen. They got way too many weapons just to get 6 points. So it's gonna have to be on offense, and I just don't believe that the Bills are just going to allow Rico Dowdle to run all over him. I just don't believe it, and I think we're going to see it from the first snap. And if Chuba's in there, then like, I love Chuba. Don't get me wrong, I like Chuba, but he just lacks the explosiveness of a running back one. He just does. That is the reason why he was backed up with Christian McCaffrey. That is the reason why they brought Miles Sanders in that 1 year after Christian McCaffrey left, because they did not believe that. And that was Miles Sanders' best year, by the way, after they brought him in with Philadelphia. He had like 12 or 1,300 yards, and it was like, oh, Miles Sanders is going to be the new running back one, and Chuba's going to back him up. But Miles Sanders isn't what they expected. Miles Sanders is Chuba 2.0. So I just don't believe that Chuba is a running back one for this team. I think he is a great two. I think he can be a great two. But I just, like I've been saying it, he's not a bell cow back. You can't give him 30 carries a game. You can't. 10 to 15 is great. But he's not a guy that can go bang his head on the goalpost and get you 20 plus yards. He's not that consistent guy for you. I do think he's a good back, though, that can back up Rico Dowdle. And if they let Rico Dowdle go after this year, then I don't know what the Panthers are doing. I generally don't. But there's going to be a big question on what they need to do with Rico Dowdle and Chuba this year. Do you re-sign Rico and do you trade Chuba? Or do you re-sign Rico and keep Chuba and just have them both? A lot of questions are going to need to be answered. But the Carolina Panthers are going up against the Buffalo Bills at 12 o'clock Pacific, Eastern, whatever, 1 o'clock Eastern, whatever. They're going against the Buffalo Bills at home. I do think because the Carolina Panthers are at home, you cannot take them lightly. But the recipe to this win is the Carolina Panthers offense. And I do think it's going to be Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton is going to be the reason why the Carolina Panthers win, or it's going to be the reason why they lose. I don't think the run game will get going. Dave Canales has to call a great game. He has to call a good, get those play actions out of your ass. You have to call a good game, big dog. You have to. From the first snap of the ball to the last snap. Because I don't see the Panthers blowing out the Bills. I more likely see the Bills blowing out the Panthers. So this is going to be a close game if you call yourself a good game, big dog. And Andy Dalton, he's going to have to sling it. He's going to have to sling it for maybe 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And Rico Dowdle, I'm hoping Rico Dowdle can get 20 touches for maybe $150, maybe 25 touches for $150. That would be beautiful. But that is honestly the ceiling that I see for him. I honestly see him getting maybe like 15 carries for like 80 yards because they're just going to collapse. They're going to stack the box and they're going to make you throw overs. And Ted, you're going to have to come. You're going to have to come play. No drop balls here. Xavier Legette, you're going to have to repeat the game that you just had with the Jets. Jimmy Horn, we got to see what you can do. Coker, we want to get you a little bit more involved. Mitchell Evans, I've been hearing a lot about the tight end conversation, who should be tight end one. Well, let me say this. Jatavion, I don't know what is going on with your hands. I don't know if the football is coming too fast or what, or if you just have no confidence. But JT has the most potential in the tight end room. He has the most potential. I want to keep believing in him. I do. But if he's going to continue to drop wide open passes, then you just can't have that on your team. You can't. And so now you're looking at a Mitchell Evans potentially being a tight end one. Tommy Tremble's fine. He's a better blocking tight end than he is a receiving tight end. But we need somebody that's going to help out Bryce in the future. And if just Tavion, if you're just going to continue to drop open passes, I can't back that up for you. Legette, the same with you. And I know you just had your career game, but we need to start seeing some legit, not just legit production, but at least some growth from the offensive weapons that the Carolina Panthers have. Like, we need to see some legit growth. I mean, I want to start seeing film on where you're just butt naked wide open and a quarterback just doesn't see you. Let us blame the quarterback because you're wide open and he doesn't get you the ball. Like, let us blame the quarterback for throwing an inaccurate pass and not getting you the ball because he just had a bad game. Like, let us blame the court. I'm tired of the receivers production or the running back. Well, Rico Dowdle's been good as of late, but I'm tired of the production not being good enough, letting down the quarterback. That cannot happen against the Bills this weekend. It can't. The production has to be better. The consistency has to be better all around. And if that's not, what's a good tight end coming out the draft this year? You know what I mean? Like, we got to start seeing some consistent production. We got to start seeing some growth. Not just the quarterback. Y'all always want to put it on Bryce Young. Y'all always want to put it on Dalton. Y'all always want to put it on the play calling. But the weapons, the receivers, the tight ends, they have to play ball. They have to go make a play for their quarterback. That's what we're going to have to see. Andy Dalton got to sling. Offense got to come play. Defense should be yourself. Because right now, defense is top 15, top 10 at best. And Carolina Panthers are going to have themselves a ball game.